Hi, I'm just going to jump in on this Simone Biles, Jonathan Owen controversy that's raging on Black YouTube. I was surprised. I didn't see the interview or the podcast, but I heard about it enough that I think I have a few words to say of my feelings on what people are saying happened. A lot of people say their looks make them incompatible. I don't think so. I think they look like a great couple. Girl's usually shorter. She's what, 4'11"? I don't know how tall he is, but he's significantly taller than her. But she's not a dwarf. She is normally built, and I think they look good together. Everyone's talking about his eye color. I can't see it, but I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think most people in a relationship are that focused on the eye color. So I think between the two, if they're happy, I think look wise, they look great. And if they're happy, it's great. So skin color, everyone's making a big issue of it. I don't see any problem. And she's taking good care of herself. She looks really, really pretty. I've seen the Little People shows that are on YouTube, and she is taller than the Little People. But the ones that they show on YouTube, those are dwarfs, and they don't have skills like Simone. So I don't consider her to be in that category. So I don't think she is so short that she has to make any kind of concessions in the height of her mate. I think it looks great. Now, normally, I thought that a lot of people that liked very short people, if they were very tall, I thought maybe they were more interested in dating children. But when I watched the Little People show, that didn't seem to be the case. Of course, I really don't know what's going on. You don't get a real look into the personalities on those TV shows or those YouTube shows. So you really don't know what people are like. But I certainly felt that their relationship seemed to be strained, but pretty normal. And I hope that Simone's husband is normal too. I think when you look for a husband, one of the first things I would look at is what type of person he dated in the past. Who really piqued his interest? Who got him excited emotionally? Who was he chasing around after? And I think that would be a big thing for me just to inquire about and to see whether or not we were matched on that level. Now, what people have said on YouTube was that his past relationships that they showed were average sized white women with long hair. So I would probably put that as a question mark for him, because she might not look like anybody he was ever interested in dating in the past. And that might mean that she doesn't really pique his interest sexually, or as a partner, or as a lifelong mate, or as a person with whom he really is interested in having children. So that would be something I would be very, very interested in checking out. But that's not huge, as long as they feel safe and comfortable in the relationship. One of the things I would really, really put a big star next to is a level of disrespect that people said he showed on the podcast. He said he always feels the man is the prize. I can't even imagine a man saying that. The woman is always the prize. And if he feels he's the prize, I just can't even imagine being with a person who would tell me that he's the prize and that I wasn't the prize. So I think that is a big, big, striking negative about their relationship. If he still, after marrying her, knowing her, and being with her, feels that he is the prize, that she's not a prize, I just can't imagine it. So I would say that that level of disrespect is so glaring, I wouldn't even know how to really, really handle that. He also said that she forced herself on him, that they met on some dating app and they both showed interest in each other, and then she drove 40 some miles to meet him, and then he said some other negative things about the meeting, that she was outside or something. It made it sound like she was hanging around outside. Didn't fit well with me. And then he also said that he didn't want to get married, but she wanted to get married. He said it wasn't something he wanted to do, and he felt as if he was forced to get married because of her pushing him. Well, that is a dog whistle, and basically what he's telling the media is he is still single mentally. He's in this marriage, but he didn't choose the marriage. It's more like he's dating. He's still available, ladies, and if you want him, you can still come around. You can get in his DMs. You can call him on the phone. You can meet up with him wherever he is. Come on by the games. He's with her. They're having fun. They're, shall I say, pals. But it isn't really the romantic relationship that he wanted. He, I believe, is 28, and I believe she is 26. Now, for a man, 28 is okay. That's a good age to get married. But a lot of men really make choices and still tend to date until they're in their 40s, and some even after that. So he is still young in the mind. He might still be looking for dates, and as he gets older, he may want to continue to date people in their 20s. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but that didn't sit well with me either. He said he didn't know who she was, and that's impossible. For him to be in a sport and he doesn't know of Simone Biles, that I think is a lie. Now, the person who said something similar to that was Meghan Markle, when she talked about how she met Harry, and she was saying she didn't know anything about the palace, she didn't know about the royals, she didn't know she had to bow to the Queen, she thought she could hug Kate, even though she didn't know her, she thought she could go up and give a big hug to William, even though he didn't know her. And I mean, she said all kinds of crazy stuff, all of which everyone felt were lies, and that really put her in a negative light, which she could never ever get out of, because people don't think she was telling the truth. Well, that's the same with Jonathan. I don't think anyone thinks he's telling the truth, where as an athlete, he didn't know of Simone Biles, America's greatest gymnast for years. Now, other people have had these relationships. You know, Chrissy Everett had a bad relationship. She was a star tennis player. Brooke Shields, a great actress, she got into a bad relationship. They both end up divorced, but they ended up going and getting into better relationships later on. The thing that really strikes me about this person and this relationship that I would caution Simone about is his desire to publicly humiliate her. He, in saying that he didn't know who she was, is trying to bring her down. He's trying to say, yeah, you think you're big stuff, you got all these medals, you did all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. You're an athlete, I'm an athlete. So he's trying to equate his career to hers. And he's not doing this just in the house, which would be bad enough. But he's doing this in public, and he's doing this on podcasts, which are going out to thousands, if not even up to 1 million people, possibly. So he is trying to definitely publicly humiliate her. Let me see what else. The other person who did this was Nick Cannon when he married Mariah Carey. Everyone thought, how did Nick Cannon get to marry Mariah Carey? And he always felt less important in the marriage than Mariah. She had a lot of money. She was doing well on her own, but she wanted children. So eventually he left and they got a divorce. Mariah did have her 2 children by Nick, but he wanted to publicly humiliate her, so he left Mariah and went into comedy, or he said it was comedy. And his comedy act was basically exposing the sex life and the private life he had with Mariah Carey. Everybody wanted to know what it was like living with Mariah Carey, and he turned it all into jokes. He turned it all into public exposure, and he turned it all into public humiliation. Not only of Mariah, but he was doing this to a person with whom he had children. So this is embarrassing. Your children's mother. Excuse me, I got a cough again. And then, of course, that comedy career didn't go well. He was host on the talent show. And while he was hosting that show, he was having lots and lots of women, beautiful women, coming by at the show and going to his dressing room. Gotta get something to drink. Then, of course, he went on to later start having babies with a string of women. He has tons of babies. He thinks he's a good father, but you can't be a good father when you have that many children. You can't. He's spread so thin that he has to be an absentee father. This Jonathan also said that the people who are saying negative things about their relationship just want Simone to be a single like they are. So he's implying that if Simone doesn't stay with him, she's going to be single. And single parent or just single. And the thing he doesn't realize, she is a big deal. She has fame that will last her life. She's like Bruce Jenner. She has lifetime fame from the skills of the things that she's done up to this point in her life. She will always have options for a male partner and companionship and a husband and children. She chose this man, and he is trying to bring her down. Now, what else could he do? He might try violence. He might just try violent words or humiliating words or saying negative things to her over and over in the house. He could start dating people they know or her friends, or just being out with other females in the future publicly, so that she gets reports about all of this stuff from friends and media, to just cause her stress and humiliation. He could start having her doing humiliating sexual things, or bringing in prostitutes or so forth into their bedroom. Just all kinds of things. Let me see what else I was thinking of here. And saying nasty things about their kids. I mean, there's so many ways you can humiliate a woman. He could also start giving her sexually transmitted diseases. If he's out seeing other women, he could be bringing home all kinds of diseases that would infect her and have a huge impact on her life. So I don't know if she's safe with him, but she seems happy, and I think she needs to be very careful. I think she needs to keep track of the things he's doing, which might cause her mental anguish, may cause her depression, and might impact her career and her ability to get paid for her image. That's what people are going to be paying her for in the future. They're going to be paying for her image, for her aura, for what she brings to the table as a spokesperson and a role model. So I wish you both luck. I hope Jonathan turns out to be the great guy that Simone wants him to be. I hope he turns out to be a better person than he was on the podcast. He may have thought that was making his light shine, but it wasn't. He might have advertised that he is available, and that will cause problems in the future, because I do have a feeling that he is willing to date. And of course that brings along a lot of hostility in the house if the husband is not willing to honor the marriage and, what do you call it, be respectful. What did Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that is what you need from me, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take care of TCB. So if you don't have respect for your partner, that is the end of the relationship. And you need to monitor what's going on so that you are in a safe place. And if you aren't in a safe place, it's okay to separate. You can still be friends, and you can have children outside of the marriage, whether it's to Jonathan or some other male. But you need to make sure that your marriage is a safe place and that you are getting respect, love, and appreciation from your spouse. When you take pictures, sometimes he needs to stand behind you and let you show off who you are. Because in this relationship, Simone is the star. Simone Biles is the star. And he needs to show that in many different ways. So what do you think? Like and subscribe. Bye.